um, and then bring it to the town vote, because as you probably know, the real estate market is picking up. Properties around the lake are selling, sometimes even little bidding wars going on. People are selling within days some of the properties, and it's quite possible that people will begin to think again about developing the ridge, which was going to be the Red Oak development, that area. And so it might be appropriate to think about the preservation of that watershed by developing an overlay district. So I just let you know that that's coming, and hopefully you will, address it in time that we can see the light of day for the March meeting, if you approve it.
Okay.
The other thing is that I know that you took up, at least in part or perhaps informally, the issue of the ADUs, the ancillary
accessory dwellings.
Accessory, right.
Yeah.
It's on our agenda for sometimes soon.
To discuss as
Right, isn't it?
to change the regulations.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you have the date for that?
I do not have a date set for it at this point, but it is in the schedule to be looked at,
Yeah.
so that the regulation can be adjusted accordingly based on the new legislation.
Yeah. And when I look at it, you're going to have to change several of the sections of the zoning ordinance. The residential district ordinance, the steep slopes ordinance, and I think there's another area that has to be addressed, because it's mentioned in these various places, and so it has to be changed. But Jan, if you keep me informed when that will be, if I can come, and then I'd like to come.
Sure.
That's it.
Okay, thanks. Any other items? All right, then we'll move on. We have two public hearings tonight. The first one is a Harvey lot line adjustment. It is a tax map 109, lot 58, map 111, lots 1 and 3. Jones and Beach Engineers, I believe, are running the show.
That would be the official opening of the public hearing, right?
Yes, this is the first public hearing.
Good evening, planning board members. I'm Brad Jones with Jones and Beach Engineers. I'm here tonight with Paul Harvey, and he has a piece of property on Merrimeeting Lake off of North Shore Road, and his brother David Harvey owns another piece next to him. A couple of years ago, we did a survey for Paul and looked at his boundaries and developed this plan that's been submitted to the planning board tonight. And what it is a series of lot line adjustments to make the lots a little more conforming. And there's a lot going on in the plan, so what I've done is I've highlighted two different plans. This first plan that you're looking at now is I've kind of put in what exists today. And this is Paul's lot is 10958, and the boundaries of that look at here in green. And the size of that lot is 15,000 square feet, 0.35 acres that exists today. And Paul's brother's lot, David, is over here in green, and you can see that's 111 lot 1. And the size of that lot is 5,700 square feet, which is 0.13 acres. So the plan was to try to get these lots a little more equal in size. So Paul had talked to the abutter, and they own lot 111, lot 3, and that's shown here in yellow. And that's a 5.2 acre lot. And they were willing to work with Paul to sell some of their property in the front here, and so we can create a a lot line adjustment and make these two lots more conforming, and then it ends up that this lot over here would end up being 5 acres. So let me show you the second plan. This is really it is the same plan. What I did is just highlighted what the lot line adjustment will do to the properties. And this is David's lot in here, and the size of that lot is going to be 0.31 acres. And this is going to be Paul's lot, and that lot size is going to be 0.37 acres. And then the remaining lot 11, lot 3, map 11, 111, lot 3 is going to end up being 5 acres. And that's shown here in blue. And what it does is it gives these lots never had any road frontages right of ways, as you can see, to get to both of these lots. So now they'll gain some road frontage and be able to access North Shore Road directly. So that's what we've done. We've had everything surveyed and stamped, and this plan's ready to be recorded if the planning board is okay with what we're doing.
Okay.
I have one question.
Bob? Sure.
So regarding the tax map 111 lot 3, looking at the upper left-hand image there, on Ellie Point Road, there is some frontage. Does lot 3 have direct frontage on Ellie Point?
It does. Yeah, lot 3 has 377 feet of frontage on Ellie Road.
The only reason I ask is one of the other plans, the smaller scale plans, it looked like there might have been a distance between this lot and the road, so I just wanted to verify that.
Yeah, they do have frontage on that Ellie Road, yeah.
Okay.
For clarification, can you show me the current lot 3?
Sure. It is shown here in this plan. The law, reduced lot here, so this is what lot 3 looks like today.
Where is it in the exploded view?
Yeah, so that's this right in here.
It's
It
that part.
doesn't fit on this plan,
Okay,
so let me
That's
show you
fine.
actually
all
the way
right,
it exists today would be,
okay.
see how it kind of goes out, back out to North Shore and goes in front of both
Right.
of the Harvey's lots.
So lot 58 also currently has no frontage.
It does not have frontage on North Shore Road, no.
Okay. I get it. Okay. Yeah.
So this gravel driveway here is for lot 3, and is that how they had previously accessed it? This gravel
Yeah,
driveway?
this driveway here?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yes, that's for, what, 111-1 access off of this driveway.
And 2, right?
And 2, that's correct, yeah.
Okay, and they will continue to use that as their access?
Yes,
They
Yeah,
will.
okay.
unless, I mean, unless he does something in the future, but he doesn't have any plans at this stage to do anything. That's just been, the whole thing that started out is that we started to do a septic system on, was it 58? And we found that there was a triangle of road. We always assumed that we had access directly to North Shore Road, and we found that there was not, that there's a triangle of land in between which goes to the other lot. And now when we found that out, we contacted the other people and asked if we could purchase that, and then they said that they would be willing to sell it. So then I came to the board last spring or whatever it was, prior to doing any of this, just to kind of run it by you to see what you thought about it. And so since that time, they have done all the engineering work on it and stuff. So.
Okay. 111 Lot 2 is unchanged, correct?
Lot 2 is unchanged, yep.
Okay.
Yes, that's right.
And there'll be a note in Lot 1's deed that it's, has right-of-way for access, for the driveway.
Yes.
What's the road frontage on the two lots, proposed lots?
It's gonna be, 92 feet on David's lot, which is lot 1. And then on Paul's lot, 132 feet.
Any other issues? Pretty straightforward. That's not improvement.
Pardon?
You're saying it's pretty straightforward, it's definitely an improvement to both those lots. Makes them bigger.
Without compromising on the road.
Right, it makes the lots bigger, it gives them road frontage. Not much negative to say about it.
You see any issues?
No?
Dot?
Where are the wells on these lots?
You see any issues?
Is there any,
There are no
Do you
wells.
see it now?
They have to pump out of the way.
really? Okay,
Looks like a good decision, in fact.
yeah,
You're very fortunate that your neighbor was able and willing to
Was
sell
willing
that.
to sell, yeah, we
That's
didn't-
really nice.
Yeah, we didn't know whether they'd be willing or not, and they've been extremely cooperative. so.
Good, good.
Well, yeah, as I said, I think what we were talking about here, I'm not sure it became audible to everyone, is that you're basically enhancing both of the existing lots without compromising negatively, overly negatively, another lot. And so it's a win-win-win deal.
right,
Yeah, and in the future, if they did drill a well, or put a septic system in, obviously gives them more ability to
Right.
get away from the lake with the
Right.
septic.
Make it more
and, you know,
conforming.
Right.
Gives them a little more land to work with, to do that correctly.
even, the lot 2, where is its well? Do they also pull from the lake?
No, he has a well. I'm not sure where his well is,
I don't see it on this plan.
but he just recently built that house in the last house.
Okay. I might be a little concerned if his well's radius crosses the new lot lines. I might be somewhat concerned. What do you think? If this lot's
His
well
well wouldn't have any.
would
not
cross into
changing the
these,
lot
you know,
line.
the radius, the setback radius, if it would cross into these new lots? that
Like
would be-
Paul saying, that lot line
Oh,
won't
that's
change
right.
though, you know.
That lot line's the same
Yeah.
line.
If I can interject, 6 years ago, the state requires a well radius to stay on its own lot. So-
That's why I'm asking.
And if it went on someone else's lot, they'd have to just record that.
That's
on
why,
their deed that it has
that
to
is
be.
why I'm asking that.
Yeah.
So I need to know where the well radius went.
No one could have done away with that if it encroached on somebody else's lot.
All right. What do you think? Do we want to find that? Make sure it's not crossing these new lot lines.
What was the well?
We don't know. That's the issue.
I could pull the map to have it in the file
maybe, possibly.
For lot 5, you mean?
for lot two.
Yeah, if you had a septic
Lot,
plan, we could look at it.
That's what I was
No,
thinking.
That would be
No,
great.
lot 3.
Lot 3.
Are we discussing lot two?
The lot 2's, well, yes.
Yeah.
2 is no difference.
I'm discussing lot 3, the one you're taking land from.
Well, that doesn't have any well on
Yeah,
it.
that's got nothing on it.
Oh.
That's
No well
That's a
on
big-
it.
That's a, yeah.
Okay,
There's no
Development.
buildings or anything.
never mind. That's what I was wondering.
Okay.
Okay. Right? Am I reading this correctly? Lot 3 is where the land is being taken from, right?
Back there.
Yeah, no, there is no well.
From lot 3.
Right. Right. Okay, then my issue's moot, never mind. Any other discussion?
No?
Any other problems,
Good.
issues?
No?
I'm ready to move forward. Do we want to set up any conditions here? Just to make, just a right of way is the only condition I see, right? Lot 1 still needs this right of way in this deed, right?
Yes, it does.
Right, so that's the only
Mhm.
condition, it's already in their deed, so to speak. So it's not really much of a condition, but
Mhm.
I would want to see it there. Since they're rewriting the
The
deed.
the motion will just be with the assurance that the.
Just an
deed-
assurance that it is,
the
right,
deed,
that's all.
The deed contains the.
Right.
driveway right away,
Right,
or access right away, whatever.
Yeah,
Okay.
'cause that's one of the issues that my brother has, that he wants to be able to, because where the lot line goes, you couldn't put it exactly where the road is, or next to the right of way. And he wants to make sure that in any future that he would be able to access his lot from that right of way, and the Moynahans didn't have any problems with that. So-
right, and then lot 3. Right,
Is this for the lot 2 or lot 2 or lot 3?
the right of, this driveway is on lot 3, correct?
Yes, it's on 3.
Yes,
But it goes to lot 2 also.
But it goes to lots 1 and 2.
that's correct.
Lot 2 is being unchanged though,
Right.
so that deed is not being changed at all, it's unaffected.
No, But
The right of way is already written in that deed, right?
Well, that's-
say that again?
The right of way that exists, the gravel driveway that exists on lot 3 is already included in the deed for lot 2,
I would assume so. I haven't
Well,
seen the
it
deed.
has to
right?
be
Because
this
that's what
lot.
they're using. But they're,
It has to be in this lot too.
right, it currently is in lot 1 also. I just want to make sure this lot 1's deed is changing, so I just want to make sure it stays in lot 1. That's
That would
all.
be the condition.
It's, obviously it will, but I'm just saying, I want to make sure it does. When that deed gets changed, I don't want that phrase getting lost somehow, by some
Who would-
mistake.
Who would do that? The attorney?
No, I'm just saying by some mistake, because that deed's changing, I just want to make sure it stays there, that's all. Lot 2's deed is not changing, so that isn't gonna go away, that can't go away. I'm just being extra cautious, that's all.
So you want the assurance that the right-of-way will be
Included,
included in the deed of lot 1?
correct.
You ready for a motion?
Sure.
I'll try. I move we accept the lot line adjustment plat of tax map 109, lot 58, and map 111, lots 1 and 3, with the assurance that the right-of-way will be included in the deed of lot 3.
Oh, one.
Lot 1.
Map 111, lot 1.
Lot 1, excuse me, right. I'm looking at lot,
Hmm?
okay, lot 1.
Anything else included there?
No, we would be able to record the plan and then develop the deeds? Or is this something that has to take place, the the condition on the deeds, you know?
When the plan comes to me to sign, I want to see the deeds. That's all.
Okay, so
I just want to make
you
certain.
want the deeds prepared
Yep,
along with the plan?
yep.
Okay, and I think the recording probably happens all at once?
Yep. As soon as I sign it, it gets sent off to be recorded.
All right.
That's all. I just want to see that new deed and be absolutely certain that that right-of-way exists. That's all. I'm sure it will. There's no reason it won't. I'm not saying it's going to go away. I'm just
Just
making
due
certain that
Yeah,
it
no, I
is.
think
Just
it's
due
great.
diligence.
That's fine.
No, I mean, you want to make sure it's.
Yeah, no, I
You
think it's-
need a
Did I
second.
get a second?
No, yeah, yes,
Uh,
you need a second.
you
I'll
need a second.
I'll second.
Sven, seconds. Any other
Now the
discussion?
discussion will go.
All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Approved.
Thank you.
So how do we go forward now?
Prepare the deeds and,
Do we buy the land first before we do?
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Well,
So that's what we gotta do first.
you don't have a purchase and sale or any written agreement at
We
this
just
stage.
got a verbal, agreement that that's.
okay,
I would think
yeah.
you'd want that somewhere in writing that you had that agreement and
Yeah,
you prepare all
purchase,
your
yeah.
documentation.
That's, should we, I wonder if we want to revisit that.
You perhaps want to get the advice of an attorney. Not
Just
knowing
that
what
minor
anyone here,
note.
right, Art?
He's on the short string.
You might want to get the advice of an attorney.
Yeah, no, that's.
There is one in this room, but there are others too, but there is one in this room.
But,
A very good one. actually.
yeah, in his organization, wonderful, wonderful assortment. Right in all, very close, very handy, very reputable.
Okay.
Help is available. Advice, you need help, advice.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, appreciate it.
Well, I guess we should have asked him. I guess we should have asked him. I thought of it. But I see.
Well,
Okay. Our next public
just have to
hearing
go first, anyway.
is called the Penny Lane Conditional Use Permit. And that is, what's our lot number here?
240 lot 37.
240 lot 37. So, floor is yours?
Well, we have to work on, make sure it's complete.
Okay, sorry.
do have some comments on this.
Are you ready?
You ready?
Yeah.
All right, so I guess the question initially is, this is being submitted, there's a lot of check marks under conditional use permit checklist under steep slope overlay district, Article 13. Is that what this is being submitted as? Steep slope conditional use permit?
Right.
So you've also triggered the stormwater management ordinance, ordinance, which is another overlay district, which dovetails largely with steep slopes. But in going through this, another question I have is how much of this is after the fact and how much of this hasn't been constructed on on site? There's nothing to differentiate what's actually there. There's plans you submitted for current conditions and then one for proposed conditions. And certainly having done a, yeah.
You wanted to know what the steep slopes were before the disturbance happened.
Yep.
So I had to create a existing condition plan from something John Bolt had done for the original subdivision. It's the only way we could do that. Then I went out and did existing conditions of what's there now to show you what the proposed would be, for instance. So following with the ordinance, I had to submit an existing conditions and a proposed. Well, when I got there, it was all existing.
Okay, well, it should state that, just for the record, on these plats, it should actually reflect that this is an after-the-fact application, which is the main point I'm getting at, if there isn't more alteration that's being proposed. So that's just one general comment, which is fairly administrative. Are there post-construction BMPs on site?
There is silt fence from when they did the wetland crossings. Those were permitted.
Yeah, they're still there?
Yeah.
Why is that?
And making sure everything's good and stabilized first.
You've been checking it every 2 weeks?
Probably less than that.
Do you have a log?
No. It doesn't trigger stormwater and having a sort report, so that way, no, you don't have to.
It triggered our ordinance. So area disturbed, existing impervious cover over 5,000 square feet. So that'll be addressed when you make a note that this is existing impervious surface. A drainage report was required as part of the permitting process. If you look at the stormwater management requirements, I'm going to just give you the location of this one moment here. So this is in our, so there's the ordinance and there's clarifying regulations. This is in the regulations, stormwater management erosion control regulations. Article 3, actually, I'm sorry, Article 4, Section B34. There's several things here that seem to be missing. Drainage report with calculations indicating compliance with the ordinance. Any permanent BMPs, design calculations, maybe those exist, maybe they don't. Operation and maintenance plan for any post-construction best management practices. You said silt fences. Are there other things that are done? Is there riprap in here that needs maintenance? Is there other material?
Just loam and seed on the side slopes.
And did you put the quantities of that material and when it was applied?
The material,
Right.
I have square footage of disturbance.
I know you do, but we need mitigation in this case. This is a case where there's been infraction, and I want to make sure things are mitigated fully. Records of timber harvesting activity within the past 5 years, and that really goes into making sure the drainage report is accurately completed. You also have on this plan a gravel permit, which went into the steep slopes, which was a violation of ordinance. So we need a mitigation plan to bring that back into compliance. You also have stockpile of some material that shouldn't be there. I took a look at a 2015 aerial photo from, well, 2015 of this area. And it was pretty clear. There's been a lot of material that has been altered, as we've seen on site. You put on the plan that needs some remedial work. But I think there's these elements missing here to ensure that this is fully remediated. There was a lot of disturbance out here near this stockpile, as I recall, going beyond the roadway. Just a lot of disturbed area. And certainly there was forestry management, but that's a very different disturbance than taking off topsoil and some of the alterations that we saw firsthand.
Okay.
But I think it's an incomplete, I feel confident that's an incomplete application. Certainly, people can submit waiver requests for stormwater management requirements, but they haven't been received as far as I know. And I'm quite frankly not inclined to entertain some of them because of the nature of this application being after the fact.
Okay.
Basically, what you're saying is that you don't view the application complete because there are some missing proof of mitigation resolutions, right?
Yes.
Okay.
In the driveway, according to this, actually, Paul, if you can show me, this is proposed condition plan. It shows the driveway going down to here. Is that?
No, that was drawn in on the plan that I had to scan in.
This is proposed.
This here is the driveway,
Is there an update?
right now.
to this?
This is the
No.
driveway.
right here. See, it says driveway right
It
there,
goes back here.
all the way to the
So,
gravel pit, and then here's your stockpile.
okay,
There's the gravel pit.
there was a lot of disturbance in this area that needs loaming or some type of remediation, ensure it grows in properly. Basically, the previous phase of Penny Lane, there was some infractions there as well. And DES did an after-the-fact permit, and if you look at the type of landscape that's left behind, it did not grow back the way it should have. I mean, it was basically denuded of vegetation, all the fertile soil eroded down slope, caused problems. This is a much flatter area, but I want to make sure
Yeah.
it's put back in the place it should have been left without coming before the planning board prior to doing the activities. One other general comment is you do fall within the conservation focus area overlay district, right along Jones Pond. There's a stretch that should be displayed on the plan. It's a minor
A setback?
setback. It's not a setback, it's
No.
it's an overlay district, but just to show it, you're supposed to show all districts on here. So there's setbacks that have to do with water resources, but this is an actual overlay district.
Okay.
I think I labeled all the districts that it's found in the application.
You did, but you left the overlay district, the conservation overlay, you didn't check
Okay,
that
I
one.
did.
So that is, it's just adjacent to Jones Pond, and I bring it up for a couple of reasons, it's an important area, but the Conservation Commission was aware of this application, and they didn't have anything to review, but they made a general comment that they were concerned about anything that happens within close proximity to Jones Pond.
And why does it fall in that district?
Pardon?
And is there a map that shows this district?
There is. It's right on the website, town website.
You have it? You have it also in your office, or land use office? Basically, your conclusion is that it's not complete.
That is correct.
Okay.
Okay.
The other question I throw out there, and I suspect this is okay, but there was the DES application, which the general information was in our packet, but wasn't built to the specifications of DES. And we didn't have the plans associated with that, but we did have the approval letter from DES, so that'd be one other thing just to check on.
So are you asking for the plans, Bob?
Pardon?
Are you asking for the plans, or are you just noting that?
No, I think that's materials needed
Okay.
to proceed. That was my 2 cents.
Okay. So do you have a list of, do you have all the items still needed, or do you want to clarify?
I'm sure I'll get a list from this
If you could
meeting, right?
provide a detailed list, so we
Okay.
make sure.
I have 5 things that my
Okay?
notes showed, and correct them, I mean, I was
Yeah,
quickly
why don't
trying
we
to
go
take
through
them,
them?
so correct them where I may have misunderstood some
Let's
comments.
go through them.
Well, and one of them, one or two of them may not be on the list, but this is
Yeah.
what I noted, that first of all, that despite the fact that it was claimed that there was check for stormwater and all that, at least every 2 weeks, if not more, there is no log to show that, and so I understood that you were looking for a log for that.
Well, I was asking if there was one. It is nice to see actually that it's been abided by, but.
It's not one of your conditions.
No, no. If there was post-construction, that was the other thing I wanted to know, and that's when you would actually need a log.
So that's not what we're looking at here, so, okay, so scratch the 1. 2 is, wants to make sure that it is fully mitigated relative to 2 or 3 points here, if I understood. 1 is the gravel permit does show a steep slope violation potential. And the stockpile of materials should not be there. Another one is that there was no waiver request for stormwater management, or vice versa, it does need a stormwater management a plan. And the last one I had is that you would like to have, not necessarily a requirement, but you'd like to have the plan approval from DES that goes along with the January 4th, 2016 approval letter.
And actually, for the plan, it's design calculations is what it requires, or what that regulation's called.
Drainage calculation?
Drainage calculations for all temporary and permanent BMPs, and a narrative description of each measure, its purpose, construction sequence, and installation timing.
But those are the, I guess it turns out to be about 3 points that I have.
I'm sorry, and then that's I in the regs, and then drainage report with calculations indicating compliance with the ordinance, and that's basically water flow and erosion potential problems.
It's still Article 4, Section 3,
Yeah.
4, D3 and 4, right, or 3.4?
3.4,
Yeah,
3B4.
yeah, okay. Section 3B. Okay. Did I more or less get them?
Excuse me, as a point of clarification, this be an itemized list that we'd be able to address. I hate to come back and go through another, we want to get the plan accepted, correct, the application accepted. So what we're looking for is a specification of what exactly we need to get this plan accepted.
The one other thing I would say is I can't speak for the commission, I happen to be an alternate on the Conservation Commission I'm referring to, but they did have some interest in reviewing the plans, and they may be interested in doing a site walk. So this will be relayed to them, so they may want to touch base with you to schedule that as well.
Yeah, I just noted that. You may want to, again, I'm not sure this rises to the level of a requirement, but you may want to show the conservation overlay as part of your plan here, if I understand you correctly.
Yeah.
District, Conservation Overlay District.
And they'll want to see the plans in general, but showing that that's there as well as.
Right. I'll add that to the listing.
Okay.
Does summarize it okay?
I think so.
I think, you probably want to check with,
And did he address the one about, he wanted the Jones Pond? Did you
The
address
the overlay district, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Right.
just mentioned
Sorry.
that.
I was
Okay.
writing.
so do we want a motion to,
Continue?
Yep.
A month from today? Is that sufficient?
Yeah.
Continue to,
When do the plans need to be in for continuance?
what's the deadline on that? Is that?
What do we say?
Continuous, so it's,
what do we say, 10 days?
I
I
think,
mean,
Prior to the
that-
meeting?
I
Yes,
think so, yeah.
to get it, and that, the idea behind that is to
So
get
we
it
can
distributed.
circulate them to a backed
Yeah,
up.
it's in our regs, but 10 days typically is what
Would
we
be,
we want.
October 11th is the next, would be roughly a month from now.
Right,
October 18th, actually would be.
right, it's the
10th.
second meeting.
Oh,
yeah.
second, start 18th, you are correct.
The 18th is the meeting?
Yeah,
Correct.
and so,
So,
what
by
is it, 7
the
days or 10 days?
I think
Is it
so.
10 working days?
10 business days,
Yeah,
not
but-
including the date of the meeting.
Yeah. So that's the 3rd, I think. October 3rd.
We could give that a shot, and if it's not doable, we could continue it one more time as long as it's in process.
Okay, want to move that?
I'll make a motion to continue the acceptance and public hearing on this application to the what do we say, October 18th Planning Board meeting.
Okay, second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye?
Aye.
From whom do we get the list? In the minutes?
By the
Yes.
minutes, right? Control the agenda, make sure the language is
Yeah.
correct.
Yes.
When do you expect those to be available?
Oh, yeah. 2-3 days?
Jen?
What's today? Today's
Tuesday.
Tuesday. It won't be, I won't have them done until next week. But if it's easier, you can leave me your email address and I'll send you just the list.
I think my email is on the plan. Maybe not. But I can, ready?
Yep,
Prospect,
PROSPECT,
MTN,
MTN.
survey at
survey
Gmail.
at Gmail. Okay,
All right.
I'll have them to you by Monday.
Okay.
Next item on our agenda is review and approval of minutes of September 6th.
Okay. I have a few suggested changes.
Okay, go ahead.
You want me to roll, or you want to
Sure.
have everybody have a chance to read, or what?
Wait, I'm not.
I'm ready to roll, you know that.
No, you're chomping at the bit to talk on a minute.
No, just prepared. Let me know when you're ready.
Okay.
V paragraph, how's that? Middle of the paragraph, the line that starts with future, but going towards the end of the sentence. I would, here's my suggestion, cross out the word goals and start the sentence with topics for the forum to include housing market changes after economic downfall in 2007 to 2009. So cross out goals and add topics for the forum.
Yep.
Everything else stays the same until you hit the end of the sentence and just capitalize master plan.
Okay.
Okay? And then skip a line, or well, actually go to the next line, accessory dwelling usage. Fast growth of population in Stratford County, period. And then new sentences, changes in housing stock to accommodate smaller homes being a commodity. Not quite how I would phrase it, but just for easy, should or will be covered, maybe that's the way to end it, will be covered. And then I just cross out the last sentence entirely.
Okay.
And then on the motion, the last sentence in your explanation probably should not be bolded, but just say Chair Drummy abstaining as he was not present at the 8/16/16 meeting. Oh, sorry, wouldn't it get 8/16? Yeah, it would be 8/16, sorry.
Yep.
All right, just, he was at this meeting, but he was, so just
clarify.
clarify,
Right.
it, but not bold, it should be
Yeah,
just
put it like that.
a discussion, not bold.
Yep.
I think that's it for
And
me.
before you turn the page,
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines down in the master plan update, you just forgot to you forgot the master, you got
Yeah,
master
got
plan.
that one.
Yeah.
Did you already get
Okay.
that? We already
I wrote
mentioned
that
that.
down.
All right, okay.
Is that it?
Yep, well, for me, anybody else?
Oh, that was good.
That works.
All right,
Motion?
Motion to approve the amended meetings of September 6th, 2016.
Bob?
as amended.
Second?
As
I
amended.
said as
As
amended.
amended.
Sorry, I missed that, sorry.
Second?
Thank you.
I'll second.
Dot? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. You vote?
Yes. Oh, aye.
I just didn't hear
Thank you.
Alrighty.
No, I hadn't.
Alrighty, yeah. This has been going on with this mess, I need to figure that out. So a couple mails. Project New Hampshire Division of Historical Resources.
you. Give you some more room.
Birch Beach and patio reconstruction on Pine Point Road. Why is this historical resources?
What are you looking at, Scott?
It's a request for project review by the New Hampshire Division of Historical Resources. Project titled Birch Beach and patio reconstruction, 232 Pine Point Road, map 102, lot
On the
13.
lake.
I don't really understand why it's historical.
Why would it be historical?
I don't know. Are they trying to get around it being the wetland permit instead? I don't know. Let me look at this.
Maybe it was historical artifact. I don't know.
I don't know.
Don't know if I see those.
I don't know. Well, unfortunately, maps, narrative. Okay.
That's up on.
On the lake.
1980 building
Yeah,
constructed.
show into the gravel,
That's my loss. I don't understand this one.
where it comes down.
I don't see anything talking about historical notes. I don't understand why this went to Division of Historical Resources. It says include photographs of resources. There are no photographs included. Description of current and previous land use and disturbances, and I don't even see that. It's just, we try.
That's the whole file? That's it?
That's all I got.
You seen it?
No, I haven't. I'm just passing it.
Do we know who signed it? Is it signed?
We were only copied on it.
We're only copied on it.
Copy that we got from them.
It's just,
Notification copy for us.
yeah. This is only a notification, it's not,
Oh.
so I'm confused.
Well, I mean, the question is, do we now have an obligation to communicate with New Hampshire Division of Historical Resources to,
Inquire as to what they're talking about, yeah.
Right.
so.
Because
so
it does
we
mention a
expect-
wetlands permit there, but that's not included. Have we received anything from the state DES about a wetlands permit on this lot?
This doesn't make
You
sense.
might just ask what triggered this.
Yeah, I don't understand.
There's, There are two different applications here, you know. There are two different ones. One is 232 Pine Point Road, and one is 373 Railroad Meeting Road.
Okay, okay. I did notice the address, I thought that's where the applicant
Yeah, I
resided.
thought it was duplicate too until I looked at it. They were received on two different dates.
I mean, when applications come and there's rare, threatened, or endangered species, it has to go before the Natural Heritage Bureau.
Right,
And they'll either say there's something there or not. And
Right.
Generally, there isn't, but maybe it's the same thing with this, that something was there historically and triggered.
it doesn't say anything in in that application, what was historic?
I know, it's weird.
Jones and Beach Engineering,
You should have asked Brett.
this is Varney Engineering.
Yeah, there are two different
It's
apps
worth-
there,
Yeah,
so,
it's two
It's
different apps.
worth asking.
you feel like making a couple of phone calls? Ask them what triggered this, because it talks about, the first one at least talks about a wetlands permit being received, being obtained, but that's not included, because that's not part of,
Well, didn't we get years and
May
years
want
and
to
years
be- may
ago
want to be attached
a
to,
request
yeah, unstable, because they're separate, they're
to
not,
put in a road? On Pine Point?
In the wetlands permitting process, the historic part of it is, they check it, I think. The natural resources, the applicant checks it. And so the application let it come in, and they check the historic, so there might be something historical in it.
yeah. I mean, the application, all we received was the application itself. We didn't receive any materials.
Right.
So there's nothing to comment on, really. There's no narrative description included. There's just a checkbox saying that they submitted one.
Yeah.
So I don't know how we can even comment on it in its current state. Yeah, I would,
Scott,
Send-
who signed the second application on the back?
yeah,
Is that signed on the back
well, yeah, they're both
they're both
signed.
signed, there's two different ones.
There are two
By the
applications,
engineer?
they're both signed.
by the engineer or the property owner?
Richard Bassett or something? Applicant. That's not John Susane, so I'm assuming the engineer signed the first one and the second one. Yeah,
So we just have addresses, okay.
okay. So the application is a request for project review by New Hampshire Division of Historical Resources, right? And then the various boxes that include different things for the application. And then there's a checkbox that is checked, no historic properties are affected. So they went through the trouble of filing this application and there's nothing affected, so I don't get it. The approximate age of the building is 1980. That's not historic. So I'm quite confused.
There's an error in the government.
Someone submitted the wrong application. Okay, I have enough new item here. This is a new RSA, I assume. Planning board application deadlines, House Bill 1202. The applicant, RSA, this is a change to RSA 676:4, I, parentheses B. The applicant shall file the application with the board or its agent at least 21 days prior to the meeting at which the application will be accepted. Previous was 15 days. That's the change to the law. Helps this, the reasons listed here that helps to address the problem faced by boards that had incomplete applications but too little time to review prior to sending out notices for public hearings. Many planning boards already required submissions to be made 21 days in advance, but there is no authority to do this. It is effective previous July 18th, 2016, so it's already in effect. I think we are 21 days in our own regs. So this doesn't officially really affect us. Although we should probably quote the RSA in our own regs saying it, or something like that, right?
Good. Although if it's there,
If it's already there, we can always make our regs more strict than the state. Okay. So that's that. And I don't recognize the Southeast Land Trust, New Hampshire annual report, blah, blah, blah. Go ahead and read it.
typically we'll go to the Conservation Commission. so-
Yeah.
Actually,
That's
I'll put it on.
mail. Master plan update, housing and land use public.
If I could go back,
Sure.
just to the New Hampshire historical thing with those
Yep.
two applications. Just to reiterate, make sure I understand, what I asked was, is the onus on us to communicate either with, and I said New Hampshire historical, but also the alternative could be we could communicate with the respective engineering firm to ask what, why they submitted that direction.
Yeah.
But I wanted to confirm that that's what you wanted to have done, or,
I had asked Jen to talk to the state
okay,
and see what was going on with that.
okay.
I don't know if they'll send us the whole application or not. A copy of the whole
Yeah, I don't
application.
know,
I don't know.
I just wanted to make sure that there was the action understood to what needs to be done. Sorry.
No, that's fine. Is that sound like a plan to you? Is that acceptable plan to call
Yeah,
the
I
state?
just want to make sure there's an understanding of who's going what to whom on it and what the expectation was back.
Okay. Okay, master plan update. How'd the forum go? Sorry I couldn't make it. Good.
Attendance was lower than what we'd like, I
Yeah.
think. But I don't know that it's unusual, it's just a little lower than we'd like.
This one was well advertised, but still.
Okay. Housing might be boring.
I mean, my comment to somebody was that, I've done some work with a municipality of 50,000 people. They might get 30 or 40 people. So the ratios are probably about the same.
Mm-hmm.
We have about 2,500 to 3,000, somewhere in there.
You got
and-
3 or 4?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I
Something
think
like
6
that.
or 7, but yeah,
That's even better than
2,
so.
4, 5, yeah, 5 or 6,
So-
somewhere in there, yeah. But, so,
Okay.
I didn't do the math, but the
Right,
ratios are roughly
but-
the same.
Okay.
so.
Any different new comments or?
Well, I took, I took what was there, and I think there's actually a couple of things.
Do you have
I
a
didn't
copy
quite
of that
finish
that I
up.
can have?
You have one?
There's a, I actually
I do?
was,
Not that one, under your agenda.
There it is.
made a change on one of them, didn't make the change on all of it. On the other slide, or partial change on one, and didn't follow through the other. If you look on the housing one, under strategies,
Yep.
it's really up to you. I would cross off on number 1 and New Durham's natural resources on both those pages. One, I already started crossing off one and didn't get it all crossed off before I tried to get it off to Jen.
You wanna-
Again, if you want to keep it there, that's okay too, but I crossed it off because I felt it was more, it's covered in some of the tactics, and the strategy was pretty direct with just having it demographic needs. But
Do you want to leave it just demographic needs?
yeah, again, I'm open to suggestions, certainly. I don't have a problem either way, but I just had not been it consistent with both of them when I did the draft. I would say that it was more difficult on this one, getting strategic statements and subsequent tactics off of it. So I actually filled in quite a bit on some of that, particularly on the tactical side of it. So it really does need some thorough review and suggested
Okay.
changes or other comments.
If it's helpful, today, the Office of Energy and Planning came up with the predicted population for Durham.
Yeah.
In 2025, which is 10 years, about 175 people more.
So
Figure,
about 2,600 to 2,800 roughly.
yeah,
It's a pretty big jump, actually, it's 10% jump.
well, but how many houses is that?
Yeah.
Um,
So it's about
200.
6 to 8%, something like that.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good.
40 houses.
I mean, what was presented at that forum by Matt, and what I think we had earlier too in some of the demographics, was that in Durham, on a percentage growth rate level, is much higher than the rest of Stratford County. But, of course, total people is
Right,
quite
but
a bit
it's,
lower. But on a percentage growth rate,
percentage is
quite a bit
what
higher.
matters, really.
Yeah.
It's relative, that makes it relative.
Yeah.
Okay. As far as you're going back to what you took out, I think I would put the New Durham's natural resources phrase back in, because at least in my opinion, I think we want to manage land use and housing. We don't want to just build houses as demographic needs demand. We want to build houses as demographic needs demand in places that protect our natural resources.
Again, I originally
That's-
had it there, and I don't have any problem with it there, I just didn't know what everyone else thought.
That's my opinion. We want to take, do our growth where we want it to grow, not just at least try to
You
push
want
it back,
manage-
at least
yeah,
try
you
to
want
push it
managed
that
growth.
way.
You want, I mean, it makes it, it's C, manage housing growth to assure public service capacity, not jeopardize, that's the public service capacity, but also natural resource and all that. I think the natural resources may be more covered under the land use side. but- Yeah. So you want to put that back in, is that what you're saying?
I guess that would be my opinion. I don't know how the rest of the board feels.
I mean, I like it, I'm just kind of trying to sit back and listen to what others,
Which do you prefer?
I like having it in there.
Having it in there,
myself.
okay. Right.
I'm okay.
Well, we'll put it back in.
No, I took it out
We'll
because
put
you
it back
said
in,
to.
yep.
Okay.
I'll give you a new copy. But I, again, like to have some other inputs on
Natural resources.
not only the statements, but also the tactics. So, I mean, if you,
Yep.
I will miss the 4th of October's meeting, so if you want to give comments back to Jen, and then she can provide it to me, I can make those modifications. So I'll do it in the next week or so. but-
I'm going backwards. I did housing first.
That's okay.
really did cover,
Pardon?
you really did cover natural resources in your.
Yeah, the land use side.
Mm.
But how do we use growth and housing growth, and how do we steer that? Or if we can, how do we steer housing growth toward areas that are more compatible with housing growth and protecting natural resources?
Well, your overlay
You know what I
districts,
mean?
your zoning, your, all those other regs do that to a certain extent.
They touched a little bit on,
Your setbacks, all that kind of
Right.
stuff.
and also offering incentives.
On the energy
Yeah.
side, yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that would be my
Yeah,
immediate thoughts on it.
yeah.
Commercial and other sign usage, commercial uses so as not to, usage, so as not to hinder scenic views.
Land use.
Where are you?
I'm under, land use,
One or two, one?
one F, yeah, I was just,
One F.
what were you thinking in there?
Actually,
I can see sign usage.
this is right down Paul's alley from when he was on the planning board.
You know,
This has to do with Route 11's signage as well as businesses that we have in town to make sure that those signs are not hindering scenic views and things like that.
It's the way I read it,
Well,
commercial
you know-
and other sign usage.
Yeah.
That's, commercial is.
one of the most interesting
Not a-
problem that has occurred within the last couple of weeks, if you noticed it, you know, the state came around and put up all these arrows and
Yep.
signs, and
Yep.
you can't get a good picture now of town hall or library without having big arrows in front of it.
Yep.
And was there a request by the town to do this, or?
And they're all on state roads.
I know they're in the state roads.
And the one that I mean, most of them I understand why they put up, but the one they put up right out here, I have no clue why they put those signs
That
that
big
way.
arrow that blocks the view of the library.
I don't think we even got notification of it. We didn't
Yeah.
know until we saw them doing the work.
Right.
Well,
And what's the purpose of it?
I mean, I had two people come by and say, this is the ugliest center I've ever seen, you've got yellow arrows everywhere, you know?
And mile markers, right? Somebody told me mile markers everywhere.
I haven't seen mile markers.
That's what,
What do you mean mile
Donnie or
markers?
somebody, one of the highway
Yeah.
guys had said something.
No, I didn't see mile markers.
what do you mean, mile markers?
Well,
As long as we don't get the rumble strips. Shouldn't it?
Yeah, let's put rumble strips down Main Street, that's needed. Okay,
But, I mean, they did do it on state roads, which are their, it's their,
that's their
Jurisdiction.
business,
it's under
their
their jurisdiction.
jurisdiction.
But,
Okay.
you know, I agree, I never heard from anyone that they were going to do that.
you would think that
I got a call from someone that said
at
they
least
were
somebody
they were there.
should
so,
notify people and what they're gonna do.
You would think.
I mean, we could take a few of those signs and put them on the curbs on North Shore Road, and we'd do much better than they're here. It's amazing up there.
All right. Any other comments about the master plan form you've had? Sounds good.
I think it looks good.
I mean, again, if you need, I'll make the change on the one strategic stuff, actually.
Yeah.
And the 2 pages with the one strategic
Yep.
stuff. But I'd be happy to change, add, delete, modify, whatever, anywhere else. I mean, I just took a stab at that. A lot of it's drawn on what we had, a lot of it was drawn on some of the, I shouldn't say, a lot, some was drawn on some of the stuff I had as prior life, and some of it was from before.
Right. Excellent. Again, I'm sorry I missed it.
Okay? Bob, you okay with it? Oh, yeah, yeah. I'll just make the one change. Shannon, I'll get that to you tomorrow.
All right, super.
And
All right.
pop it up on the website, and the next one is October 20th,
Yes,
I think,
yes, correct.
which is town services and character or something like that.
Mhm.
Okay.
And facilities, services and character.
Super.
That,
Okay.
That may be an interesting one.
Hmm.
So, may want a lot of people out if we can.
Right.
Well, how can we maximize, I mean, Mark did an article, granted it wasn't a front page headline, New Durham doing transportation, you know, it wasn't really the eye catcher. But have you any other suggestion? Because I'm willing to do whatever to advertise.
Did it get posted on the various public Facebook pages and stuff like that?
It was on Facebook page, it was even on the rec page.
Yeah, Nicole posted it.
Yep.
Right, okay.
You couldn't
It
miss it, went to
certainly
the
seemed
town
to get
website.
around. I even had people calling and asking about it because they saw it in Bayside.
Okay,
They didn't show up to the program though.
okay.
You know, I know. I will try to see that the rec sign at the landfill is posted for them
That's a good way to do it.
Thursday.
That'd be good, because a lot
Yeah,
of people
can-
really
will you-
don't.
would you do that?
Sure.
Ask them, please.
Okay. Okay,
The idea of surveying in some way as to whether people were interested in carpooling in Monday through Friday, 7 o'clock in the morning, who's going where, and would they be interested in pooling in that? Or otherwise, a written questionnaire that the town
Right.
has. Because that's a major issue, I think. I think a lot of people are going to the same place, but they're going
Yeah.
in 3 different cars.
yeah,
If there were even a posting on a website.
On the website,
Or you
or,
could
you know,
Right.
or you could just survey people who come to the yellow light.
Where you going?
During rush hour.
yeah,
Would you be interested in pooling with other people?
right,
And just getting, 200 answers to yes or no,
Right.
and you'll know whether there's
yeah,
an interest.
yeah. I think
It is-
carpooling's tough. 'Cause people are,
Well,
I know personally, I like my freedom. It's important to me, and I think
Because you
that's,
want to do your errands on the way.
I never know if I'm gonna get, if I I don't drive to work, but anymore, but I used to work in Dover. And I never knew where I was gonna end up, at the end of the day. It was very often that I would get a call from a friend or my wife or whatever and say, hey, let's do this after work, or if I had a client meeting somewhere else, I needed, I needed the car, so it's hard to do.
But I think, I hear what you're saying though, I think it's a worthwhile endeavor
Yeah.
to just see what the interest is. It
Right.
doesn't work
I mean, if
for
there are 20
everyone.
people in town that work at the shipyard,
Yeah.
that would be
Exactly.
worthwhile, because,
Exactly.
they all work there and they generally don't go anywhere during the day. So, something like that, if you could somehow corral them, that could
Well, there are
help.
people from Farmington that go to the shipyard too. I know 2
Yeah,
that live in Farmington.
I know two that live here.
well, it's 4.
Yeah. Let's do the survey.
The other issue
So-
is that they may not be at the same shifts, so.
Right, but,
And again, the pressure on that is when you have energy prices exorbitantly high.
right,
But the statistic is amazing. People on Stratford Regional Planning's website that I think it's almost 85% of workers in New Durham, I don't call them workers, but people in New Durham commute by their onesies, by car,
Right.
out of town.
right.
It's an amazing. So I'm sure of that 85%, even if 30 are open to carpooling. If
Right.
we had a centralized lot, check-in time,
Right.
whatever. Cars going to Concord or even public transportation, the van going to Concord. It seemed to make sense to me.
Yeah,
I have one additional item for the,
sure,
part of the new old other business.
yep,
Budget preparation. Two things. One is who's doing it, because I think it's supposed to be due a week from yesterday to the
Oh.
TA.
Correct. And I meant to bring it tonight and it didn't make my list. So I will get it to you.
Okay.
review, and if you have changes to make, you can let me know and I'll do
Well,
myself.
there's one thing here. You may remember 2 years ago, we were making a decision generally for the town on whether to continue membership in the Stratford Regional Planning Commission.
Right,
It was about roughly $3,000, I think it was 29, something, 35,
Yeah.
somewhere there, roughly 3,000. We chose not to based on surveys with the highway, with
Right.
planning, zoning, to see what the use pattern was. Clearly, over the last 8 to 10 months, our use has increased of their services, and quite frankly, we're not members. So I'm only asking, I'm not saying we should or shouldn't, I'm just saying, as you prepare your budget, do you want to include that as part of the planning board's budget?
are we being charged for those services, or are they still being given to us for free?
Well, not that I know of.
We're not being charged
Right.
currently.
Okay, for Matt Sullivan's time and et
Correct.
cetera.
I think that they will still work with us if we're not members, but our level of importance gets kicked down the list based on other members who step forward who are
Right.
members.
That's
Right.
it. And then
But,
for certain services, I think they do charge, but generally
Yes, I
they
think
will
some of the
provide
mapping
some
services,
services. yeah.
Some of
We
that
pay
they
charge.
charge.
Well, what may be worth asking Matt is, he talked about regulation review and that sort of thing, is if there is anything that would be covered under membership of Stratford Regional Planning Commission, because that would certainly be a service we benefit from if we were able to use it as an overarching part of our membership.
And why can't we split the membership costs across boards?
yeah. Yeah, well, highway
Board shouldn't
department
have to
uses
carry
it.
all of it.
Yeah, especially if the highway department
Well,
uses
then
it for culvert, et cetera.
And zoning and.
Yeah.
I'm only bringing up for consideration,
Yeah.
not advocating either way.
Yeah,
I mean, I will say, when we did the master plan previously, Stratford Regional contributed significantly. I mean,
Right.
We got well beyond our money's worth. And,
Right.
maybe this is the time certainly time to consider it, to see weigh the positives and negatives.
Why I bring it up here is, too, I think we had, what, $5,000 something for mapping for this year's budget, something in that order,
something
which
like that.
I'm assuming would not be competitive for next year, so you
Right.
do have that. And you
Right.
can actually reduce the amount from 5 to 3. So
Right.
That's all I want to.
Yeah, we could get a benefit and
Just as a thought process.
save the town money at the
I
same
mean, the
time.
guidelines from the budget committee and the board of selectmen combined was at least level, plus or minus 1%, but at least level for all departments. But
Okay,
the planning board has an opportunity, I think, to reduce more than 1%, even if they did that, so.
right.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
Just a question for consideration. Again, my understanding is due a week from yesterday, so to
Correct.
Scott. And he has a certain period of time that he's reviewing it. I think
All
actually
of
the
next
first budget, the formal budget review process for the Board of Selectmen starts October 13th, I think.
We're meeting with all the department heads next week and finalizing the budget with Scott and I next week.
Right.
So,
okay,
unfortunately, this week is crazy for all of us, so I won't be in the office for the most part for the rest of the week, because I'll be out at conferences and meetings.
And the first, sorry,
But I will get it to you tomorrow.
okay.
and the first budget committee's review, and again, I don't know what the schedule is yet for departments and all that counts, but planning board may not be the first one, so, but the first budget committee review is October 19th. Again, I don't know when the planning board comes up. It
Yeah,
may be the
would
19th,
till
it may
probably
be
later in the process.
1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, I don't know.
It starts the 18th, you said?
19th.
19th. Well, the first budget selectmen one is October 13th. First budget committee one is
Right,
The 19th.
19th.
okay,
But I.
And then the budget, the Board of Selectmen has one on the 18th and the 20th also. So somewhere in those first three.
So I think the
Planning
game
board
plan
approval.
should be that I will send you the current budget. If you have changes to be made, let me know and I will make them for you
all right,
and submit it like that.
okay. Well, we'll need to, that has to be an agenda item. I can't do that
Okay.
unilaterally by email. I don't think that's right. We should discuss that as a board.
You would need another special meeting
We have until somewhere around October 19th, so.
The next one.
Well, no, for the budget committee, but the board of selectmen gets it first, and I don't, we haven't seen the schedule yet. Usually, I would, you know, I would have had the schedule out September, but, we haven't seen the schedule yet, so I don't know if it's the 13th, the 18th, the 20th, or later that the planning board account comes up.
Right, but we have,
At least till the 13th. Well, you need it before Scott before that.
right, but we'll have a planning
We
board
have a
meeting
next meeting on the 4th.
on the 4th of September.
I won't,
we can
as I
put it
said,
on
I would
the
not be able to
agenda
be there
item
on
for
that one,
Okay.
but you don't need me anyway.
Right, that's what I'm saying. We can discuss the planning board's budget on the 4th and have something before Board of Selectmen or Budget Committee meets to
Yep, that'll be fine.
potentially discuss it, so that's what I'm saying.
You're gonna have to carry the water with Scott on that one, because his deadline was the 26th.
I know, and he's gonna hit me to it.
All right.
I also have a preliminary hearing to go on the agenda for that day, but I don't anticipate it taking a whole lot of time, just for future projection of.
Not related to
the
these two.
application. Not related to these two separate.
Because you got that one, and you have to post that one whenever.
Yes, it's only preliminary, so it's not a full
Yeah,
hearing,
but for the
it's not
one,
an
for
application.
one we
Yes.
postponed today, or,
Yes, the 20th.
so it continue, it's a continuation, actually, right?
Right,
I think that was, yes.
okay,
Okay?
all right. Any other business?
Can I
Paul?
pitch in here a bit? It just came up in my mind, when you discussed that first case, and you guys voted on the first public hearing, you never asked for public input. And is that, it's not done, or it should be done?
Should have been.
Normally, we would.
Should have been.
That was,
Okay, so, you know,
Go ahead.
it just got me because I was going to say something and I thought I'd hear that, but I didn't hear that, so I said I put that I won't.
Okay,
risk it. But,
my bad.
well,
Well,
we all,
Should have done it.
would have been information that would have
so
significantly
now
impacted the
now I
decision.
know that I should have been more forceful, you know, I just didn't want to interrupt it.
we hadn't done a lot line adjustment for a while, and it just, I mean, I'll speak for myself.
My
Yeah.
interest in that
Missed it.
was only raised after I saw it, because I saw these adjustments to approaches, driveways into North Shore Road.
Right.
And I have no idea where it is, but the road was like this, you know?
Mhm.
And if the driveway comes out and the topography is hills on both sides, you do not see a car coming out when you're driving that road.
There is an existing driveway there now.
Right. That-
But they're putting in one more, aren't they?
No.
That's not what they were proposing tonight.
Oh.
No.
Okay.
That's not what they were proposing tonight.
No.
But
Yes.
now the other one is gonna have an entryway onto the road.
Well, that's not
No,
Was
approved
not on the
yet.
plan.
Right, okay.
It's not approved yet.
no, no new driveways are proposed.
Only frontage.
Only
being
frontage
added.
and changing lot size, increasing lot size.
Well, that was gonna be my question.
Okay. Reasonable.
I'm very much aware that, you know, there's accidents waiting to happen over there. Because your sight line is just not there. Because the hill will go, the road will go up and down in the bottom of it, there's a driveway coming up, and it's a scary road.
Right.
The highway people did a very good thing this year because they put up some yellow lines designating where the middle of the road is.
Yeah.
Which helps particularly in the summer when visitors come. They are really hogging the road.
Particularly at night.
And so this is a great addition. On the other hand, the edges of the road are now really crumbling. And somebody needs to take a good look at it because it really needs to be resurfaced. Because when the edge crumbles, people move towards the center.
Yeah.
Uh,
Creeps in. It creeps.
Yeah. The other question, and excuse me again if I'm all wrong, there was I was going to look up the lot number, et cetera. There was a business that was out of business for over 3 years, and you have a note in your records that the that an official letter should be sent to those folks that, you know, they no longer have the permission to run the business because it's been out there for 2 years. Right? Was it with you? Yeah, I think with you I looked it up.
Yes, I do remember talking about that.
And in the notes said it expires unless the business, it was going to be 2 years at the end of December 2015, and I asked you to bring it to the board.
Yeah, maybe that
or-
wasn't me. Maybe it was Melissa.
Maybe it was Melissa.
Yeah, I'm almost certain we did have that letter sent, because we did discuss that.
This is the one on Route 11, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I'm almost certain there was a letter sent.
I do remember seeing
because-
something.
We wanted to have it formally in the.
So it might have been Melissa that I asked, I couldn't remember
Yeah.
which one.
It probably was in transition, being that time frame.
Yeah. So I just want to make sure that that letter got sent,
It-
because right now, if you look at it, we have a new business over there, which is used car sales. Actually, they're
Yeah.
antique sales.
Sort of, yeah. I don't know what to do with that.
Yeah, we should.
I mean, are you allowed to sell one car? If you have a car,
Well,
you
you're
stick
not-
it in your
I don't
front
think
yard
you're
and sell
allowed
it?
to sell anything unless you have a garage.
Well,
Yard
is it
sale.
a private sale or is it a business?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many cars do you need?
I know, that's,
No.
Talk to Jay Leno.
yeah, so I'm not sure what to do about that. I did notice that.
Yeah, and I had, I went by the other day and there were 3 people there with 2 cars looking at.
The house is vacant, right, Paul?
No,
I don't
I
think
don't
so.
think so.
No?
No, it's occupied as far as I know.
So I think the request is to search files to make sure the letter was, confirm the letter was sent.
Right,
And of course, it's not the same business either, so.
no.
Well,
that's the
Maybe-
thing.
There's
Well,
2 different
there's-
issues. One is the letter, to make sure that
Right.
has been taken care of. I'm almost certain it was, but it should be in the
keep it
packet,
in the file.
the file. yes.
And the second issue is determine what the current situation is.
But those vehicles belong to the owner of the house.
Do they?
It's a different situation.
Well, that's what I'm asking. I thought.
That's unknown.
How do we decipher?
Or maybe you bought them and put them out there. I don't know.
Right,
And then they would still belong to him,
right.
and it would potentially
But
be a private sale.
Yeah. It
Right.
could be like a junkyard, you know, once you exceed a certain number of unregistered vehicles, then it becomes a junkyard. Maybe it's the same with number of cars in front. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, I
That's
guess
something to look into.
I don't want to be so stickler that people will often
Sure.
sell a private vehicle in their front yard for sale. And, it's a one-off thing. But if he keeps producing more antique cars and keeps putting them out for sale one after another,
Yeah.
that's
I-
not a
I-
one-off
That's a
thing
business.
anymore.
That's a business, yeah.
So,
But what about someone who has a yard sale every weekend? Buys antiques, has a yard sale every weekend? What's the difference?
It's just there on weekends. This is there every day, maybe.
if they keep going to different antique shops or in different yard sales and accumulate more stuff every week and resell it again, that becomes a business.
Do you have a regulation that restricts that?
Specifically,
Probably not.
probably not.
Is that a
Hard
home
to-
occupation?
Hard to,
That
make
becomes a
any
home
firm
occupation
decisions on that
at some point.
without a regulation.
Well, that becomes a home occupation business and you
And
need a
a
permit.
code
And then
enforcement
code
officer.
enforcement.
Right.
Well, it's sort of code enforcement, but I'm glad you guys are seeing that.
Yeah.
And
I noticed it and I was just kind of mentally keeping track of it. I saw 3 cars, 1 car was there like 2 months or something ago. And then 2 more showed up. And now it's back down to, I think, 2 last time I looked.
Right.
So if it goes back up to 3 or gets to 4, or if the existing 2 disappear and we don't see them again, I'm gonna forget about it.
Yeah.
But if it keeps happening, if we get more cars, then,
Yeah, well,
Probably.
you have a person who's in charge of looking at that codes are enforced, because that's not the business property.
Right. So I guess, you could mention it to code enforcement. I don't know if it's worth speaking to the homeowner at this point.
The code
Just-
enforcement officer will give me pushback as to what regulation they're violating.
Home occupation permit.
Okay?
And just to monitor it if it's just a, you know.
Actually,
if it-
let me,
Right?
sorry, let me quote often, quite frankly.
He should
is the
know.
Thank you. Quite frankly, it's the responsibility of the code officer to review the regulations and determine exactly which one does apply.
Right,
So if he gives you pushback, you indicate that's his purview to do that.
yeah, I've
And, you
been,
can- and if I understand, well, there's two of us at least, it sounds like it's consensus, but sounds like it's pretty consensus of the planning board for that statement.
right. Yeah, I've received a
Now, tell him
couple,
not to kill the messenger.
I've received a couple questions from code enforcement that he should have been able to answer himself.
Right.
And I've been, anyway,
One recently that's been brought to my attention, and I've gotten some pushback, has been that I had a resident complain about campers on a property that have not moved for a number of years, and what the requirements are in terms of
that's. in the
people
reg-
staying at those. We do have a regulation that specifies it. He has gone and spoken to the people who are dwelling part-time in these campers, and their response has been to him that he cannot do anything. They are registered and inspected sitting on that property, and the regulation has no teeth, according to the code enforcement officer. And there is no way that he can put a stipulation on anything to enforce our regulation that's written. Our regulation is written rather open-ended, so it might be something
Well,
to review.
if I remember the regulation, it has to be registered, it has to be parked a certain number of feet away from the lake.
Lot
I think,
line.
Right.
Lot line. And I think it also says no money's exchanged, and no more than 6
months.
no.
No, 14 days, is it 14 days a month?
Something like that.
Yeah,
Yes. And so but that's the only regulation that's mentioned, and
Right.
the only stipulations. So if they are skirting around those number of days, keeping it registered not close to the lot line, but it's hard to pinpoint how many days a person is staying in a camper on a property.
right.
So, and we have had a couple complaints from abutters on that they are there every single weekend through the summer.
Mhm.
But how do you enforce such a regulation?
They're-
I think that's the question.
Right.
How is it enforced?
And they're not removing the trailers, they're leaving them there and then coming back.
Parked permanently, have
Right.
been for 3+ years,
Right. I mean, it's one thing if you own,
But they're licensed, right?
correct?
I mean, if I owned a camper,
And inspected.
I'm gonna
right?
park it on my
Inspections.
property.
Exactly, so
Permanently,
what's the difference?
unless I go on, until I go on vacation to Utah.
Right,
But I'm not living it.
right. They're using it as guest.
But yeah, who owns the camper? Does the resident of that lot own the camper?
I don't know.
Question one.
I don't know the answer to that.
He should be able to figure that out, and he can call the police chief and get the registration and figure that out. You figure it out. That's question one. I mean,
If
so
it's
that
registered,
would.
there's a license, which you can go on and check out who it is.
Right. So that would answer the first question. Does the property owner own the camper? If the property owner owns the camper, they can park it there as long as they want. They own it. But if it's not owned by the property owner, then they should follow the regs. What is our teeth? Good question. What can the building inspector do? Can he drop a cease and desist order on them with police enforcement?
Yeah, I mean, you could write a letter that you're in violation of section, article
Right.
sections, blah, blah, blah.
As far as I'm concerned, he
Please,
can do that.
desist.
As far as I'm concerned, he can do that,
Right?
right? Everyone agree?
Can he impose a fine?
I'm not sure that's in the regs, but once the letter
It's not
gets,
correct.
once the letter gets in place,
I think
and it
his
continues to be in
suggestion was
violation, you
put a
then have
fine
an
in
opportunity for a
place.
court situation.
Yeah.
There is an open, I don't know what it states, but a part of our zoning ordinance that does mention a fine, is specifically
But for
references a
violations of
statute.
this ordinance?
I'll tell you in a
general?
second, I'll let you continue the conversation,
Okay.
I'll find it.
Okay. While we're sort of not on this topic, in the materials that I was given for our 2 hearings, I have a lot of extra maps here. Does everybody have things like this?
Not that small, is it?
Because I think I have several.
There are some big, some
Which hearing
small.
was that, the first or the second? The second?
This is Penny Williams.
Yeah, the second one, yeah. There were 4 maps.
All right, then I may have
Some
to
of them
figure
are-
out,
Oh, then maybe that was a,
I may have to figure out what I have then. That is.
Here we go.
Okay, anyway, back to,
This is under 2, this is our ordinance, subsection 2C, C being enforcement, and then 3 penalties. Every person, person's firm, or corporation legally determined to have violated any of the provisions of this ordinance shall be fined an amount consistent with the provisions of RSA 676:17 for each day following conviction that the violation may exist.
Can you do that RSA one more time, please?
676:17.
and it's in our
It's in our zoning ordinance.
zoning ordinance, paragraph 2C.
2 administrative provisions, C2, right, or 2C?
Yeah,
2C.
Roman 2,
Yeah.
not letter, paragraph C2, number 2.
Oh, 674, 676.
And that's after conviction, though. That means we have to take him to court first, right?
Does appear to be.
676, 17.
is it after conviction or after being
That's what the
cited?
It
text
says.
says, conviction,
Okay.
but.
Actually, it says 6 nights per calendar month, and it's usually summertime, that this problem occurs
6 nights per month.
per month. So that's not too hard to probably enforce.
Well, not too hard to record, but enforcing may be a different issue. I mean, it sounds like we have the ability to enforce if there's willingness to follow the law. You have to get the code enforcement to follow the law.
He's got to know the law.
Hmm?
He's got to know the law.
Well, we just pointed out to him what the law is.
Right.
But he does have to know. That's why I said the onus is on him to, A, read the regs, find out what the situation is, and then enforce it.
That is the same as that.
75 feet from the normal high water level.
I think you have small copies of our larger,
I
So you
think so
could-
too.
yeah,
Okay.
you could give us each a copy if.
Yep, I'm trying to figure it out here. Just making sure there aren't some subtle differences. Got a couple extras anyway. I think they do just like 3 of each or something like that. Okay, here are the extras. Who wants what?
For the 2 maps and
Sure.
a set, or
Here,
2 maps per set?
figure it out. One,
Those are the same.
yeah, 4. One else.
All are both the same.
Making sense?
Guilty
It does
of
say conviction
felony
date,
if
but it just
other
doesn't
person
almost have-
and shall be
refers
subject
to
to a
court.
penalty of $275 for the first offense and $550 for subsequent
Right.
All are
offenses
both the
for
same.
each day that
Okay, so there's
violates
2 sets, then. One set.
is
It's
found to
actually been
continue
spring
after the
holiday.
conviction date.
Thank you.
Right.
after the date on which the violator receives written notice from the municipality that
Or-
the violator is in violation.
Where's that part? Is that all in the first paragraph?
Yep,
Towards the end.
towards the end.
Did you get a set, Scott?
I have my set, yes.
Yes, and it
Okay.
specifically says
Yeah,
or after the date on
Yeah,
which the
so-
violator receives written notice from the
I'll take it.
municipality that the violator is in violation,
There you
whichever
go.
is earlier.
Where is it in the RSA, Jen?
676-16,
Seven, no,
17, sorry,
colon 17.
paragraph 1,
676.
colon 17I.
17.
Yeah, that's a big or.
Mm-hmm. Huge difference.
Yep. That little tiny word.
Mm-hmm.
I've always said that. That's such a, it says or, conviction or written notification that they're in violation. So all we have to do is send them a
Well,
note.
that's why,
If and or,
Yep,
2 power words.
yep. Or and also.
But that's 3 letters. Yeah,
That's 3
a
words.
little bit.
So if you go down to 5,
50%
it
bigger
says
word.
the building inspector or other local official with the authority to enforce the provisions of this title or any local ordinance, code, or regulation adopted under this title may commence an action under paragraph 1, either in the district court pursuant to RSA blah, 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 or in the superior court. Prosecuting official in the official's discretion may, prior to or at the time of arraignment, charge the offense as a violation, and in such cases, the penalty to be imposed by the court shall be limited to those provided for a violation under RSA blah, 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 blah,
So it does have to go to court.
blah. It's
That's
kind of
confusing.
back and forth, isn't it?
Yeah, the first paragraph 1 says or, but
And
then
then
paragraph 5
says the building
says,
inspector has to follow these procedures, which includes taking to court, right? Am I understanding that correctly?
may commence an action under paragraph 1, either in the district court or in superior court. And those are the 2 options. So it does have to go to court. But I hate these, we have these laws where you can do A or B in one paragraph, but in another paragraph, you can do A or C.
well, that's why I said, at least the letter then sets the stage if you wish to
Yeah.
proceed for
Sets
legal.
the-
I mean, maybe you write a letter, you are currently on violation starting on this date. You have given some reasonable time period before a suit is commenced.
Reference which section and all
You
that
know, I
stuff.
don't know, how long will we want to give them? 10 days, 30 days?
I think that's a code
If
enforcement.
if it's
thing.
licensed, it should be fairly short, because they just hook it up and pull.
Yeah. 48 hours, 10 days,
Yeah, I'll give them
something?
5 business days, or, you know,
Something.
10 business days, maybe, something like that.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what he's gonna do with that. We're so mean.
All right,
Any other new, old, other business? Going once, going twice.
move to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 How's Swen's and Dot?
Very good.
Thank you, Paul.
You guys do a great job.
We try. We miss
You
you.
do. I don't necessarily miss you, but I'm gonna be around here for a little while with the little project we're working on.